You're staring at your savings account. It's been 8 months. 8 months of saying no to things, of packing lunch instead of buying it, of staying in on Friday nights. And the number on your screen says $2,847. You're doing the math in your head. At this rate, it'll take you, what, almost 3 more years to hit $10,000? 3 years. And that's assuming nothing goes wrong. No car repairs, no unexpected expenses, no emergencies. Just 3 years of living like this. And there's this voice in the back of your head going, what's the point? By the time I save $10,000, I'll be old. This is impossible. My name's Peter, and if you've ever felt like saving your first chunk of money is brutally, unfairly hard, while watching other people seem to accumulate wealth easily, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because what's happening here isn't what it looks like, and once you understand the actual math, everything changes. Let's talk about what it actually takes to save $10,000 when you're starting from zero. You're making, let's say, $55,000 a year. That's about $3,800 a month after taxes. Sounds okay. Sounds like you should be able to put something away, right? Rent is $1,400. That's gone before you even think about it. Car payment, $380. Insurance, $160. Student loans, $280. Health insurance, $180. Phone and internet, $120. Groceries, $350 if you're being careful. Gas, $140. You're at $3,010. You've got $790 left for the entire month. Now, utilities, electric, gas, water, that's another $110. Toiletries, household stuff, cleaning supplies, $60. You need new work clothes because your old ones are falling apart, that's $50 this month. Your car needs an oil change, $45. You're down to $525. And you're trying to save, you really are. So you decide you're going to put away $400 a month. That feels aggressive, but doable. That's $4,800 a year. You could hit $10,000 in just over 2 years. Except it doesn't work that way, because your friend's getting married in 2 months, and you need to buy a gift, contribute to the group present, maybe travel to the wedding. There's $200. Your laptop starts making a weird noise, and you can't afford for it to die, because you need it for work. So you take it in, $120 to fix it. Your teeth have been hurting, so you finally go to the dentist, $180 after insurance. 3 months in, you've saved maybe $800 total, not $1,200, not even close. And this is where most people give up, because saving that first $10,000 feels like pushing a boulder uphill in the rain. Every dollar is a fight. Every month something comes up. You're constantly choosing between saving and living any kind of normal life. Most people think the problem is they're not making enough, that if they could just earn more, saving would be easier. Get to $75,000, get to $100,000, then they could actually start building wealth. But that's not actually the problem. Here's what's really happening. When you're saving your first $10,000, you're working entirely in percentages. You make $3,800 a month, and after all your fixed expenses, you've got maybe $500 to $800 that's actually flexible. To save $400 of that, you're saving 50 to 80% of your discretionary income. That's brutal. That means every optional dollar you spend, you're feeling. That coffee costs you $5, but it also costs you $5 you didn't save. That dinner with friends isn't just $30, it's $30 further from your goal. Every single choice is loaded. And here's the thing, $400 a month doesn't even feel like real money in terms of what it's building. You put away $400 and your account goes from $2,800 to $3,200. Okay, cool. You're still years away from anything that feels significant. But watch what happens once you actually have that $10,000. Let's say you finally get there. Took you 3 years, maybe 4. You've got $10,000 sitting in your account, and you keep doing what you've been doing, saving that same $400 a month. But now that $10,000 is working. If it's invested with modest returns, maybe it's generating $70 a month on its own. That doesn't sound like much, but you're not saving $400 anymore. You're saving $470 without doing anything different. Next year, you've got $15,000 saved. Now that's generating about $105. You're saving $505 total. The year after that, you're at $21,000. That's $140 in growth. You're saving $540. Your effort hasn't changed. You're still putting in that same $400, but the total is accelerating. And here's where it gets weird. By the time you hit $50,000, that same $400 monthly contribution plus the compound growth means you're adding about $850 a month to your wealth. By the time you're at $75,000, you're adding over $1,100 a month. You get to $100,000 and suddenly you're adding almost $1,500 a month. And you're still only contributing $400 of your own money. The rest is just happening. The first $10,000 took you 3 or 4 years of grinding. The next $10,000, maybe 18 months. The one after that, about a year. By the time you're going from $80,000 to $90,000, it takes like 6 months. From $90,000 to $100,000, 4 months. Same effort, wildly different results.
This is called compound growth, and most people know about it in theory, but they don't really get it. They don't feel it. Because when you're saving your first $10,000, compounding is invisible. You're earning $12 a month on your $2,000 balance. $12. Who cares? But that's not the real reason the first $10,000 is harder. The real reason is psychological, and it's brutal. When you're starting from zero, every setback feels catastrophic. You save up $3,000 over 6 months, and then your car needs new brakes. $600. Gone. You're back to $2,400. You just lost 20% of your savings in one afternoon. That feeling, watching months of work disappear, it's crushing. And it makes you wonder if saving even matters, if you're just going to lose it anyway. But watch what happens when you have $50,000 saved. Your car needs new brakes, same $600, but now it's 1.2% of your savings. It barely registers. You're annoyed, but you're not devastated. You're not starting over. The psychological resilience that comes with having a cushion changes everything. When you have $10,000 saved, a $1,000 emergency is manageable. When you have $500 saved, that same $1,000 emergency is a disaster. So people with money can take hits that would destroy someone just starting out, and they don't even feel it, which means they keep saving. They don't give up. They don't get demoralized. The system rewards them for already having money. And there's another thing that happens: status signaling. When you're broke, you're desperate to not look broke. You're making $55,000 and you need people to know you're doing okay. So you spend money on things that signal success. Nice clothes for work, a decent car, going out with friends when they suggest it, because saying "I can't afford it" feels humiliating. You're spending money to prove you're not poor, and that makes it impossible to actually stop being poor. But once you have $50,000 saved, you stop caring. You're not trying to prove anything anymore. You know you're financially secure. Who cares if your coworker thinks your car is old? You've got options. You've got freedom. The status signaling that used to control your spending just stops mattering. So you end up in this paradox where the people who most need to save money are the ones for whom saving is hardest, both mathematically and psychologically. And the people who already have money find it easy to save more. You're lying in bed at 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling. You're thinking about that savings goal. $10,000 feels impossible. It feels so far away. And you're wondering if you're just not cut out for this, if other people have some secret you don't know. But they don't. They just got past this part already. They're on the other side where money makes money, and setbacks don't destroy everything, and the math actually works in their favor. You're still in the part where every dollar is a battle. So here's how people who actually build wealth think about this differently. And I'm not talking about people who inherited money or got lucky. I'm talking about people who started from zero and got to the other side. They understand that the first $10,000 isn't about the money, it's about the habit. When you're saving your first $10,000, you're not really building wealth yet. You're building the muscle. You're learning how to say no. You're figuring out what you actually need versus what you're spending to feel okay about yourself.
You're training yourself to delay gratification, to sit with discomfort, to be the person whose friends go out for drinks and you just don't go, or you go and order water, and you don't explain, you don't justify, you just do it. That training, that's the asset. The $10,000 is just proof that the training worked. Because here's what happens. You build the habit of saving $400 a month when it's hard, when it requires sacrifice, when it feels like it's not even worth it. Then you get a raise. Now you're making $65,000 instead of $55,000. That's about $600 more a month after taxes. Most people take that $600 and immediately upgrade their life. Better apartment, nicer car, more eating out, and they're still saving $400 a month. But you already trained yourself to live on less, so you take that $600 and add it to your savings. Now you're putting away $1,000 a month, and you've got that $10,000 base that's already compounding. Suddenly, you're not years away from $50,000. You're like 18 months away, maybe 2 years, and the whole game changes. When they see someone with $100,000 saved, they don't see the 4 years that person spent eating rice and beans and saying no to everything. They just see someone with money and think they must have some advantage. Better job, rich parents, luck. But usually it's just that they got through the hard part. They survived the first $10,000 when it felt impossible. And once they did, the math started working for them instead of against them. This doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean you won't want to give up. You will, constantly. You'll watch your friends take trips you can't afford, buy things you want, live lives that look normal while you're over here being weird about money. But here's what changes. You hit $10,000 and you breathe differently. That tightness in your chest when you think about money, it loosens. Not completely, but you can take a full breath for the first time in years. You're at work and your boss says something that crosses a line, and instead of just taking it because you desperately need this job, you can actually think about your options. You've got 3 months of expenses saved. You have time to find something better. Something unexpected comes up, your car, your health, whatever, and instead of panicking, you're just okay. Annoyed, but okay, because you can handle it. You stop checking your bank account with that sick feeling in your stomach. You know what's in there. It's enough. Now, let me be very clear about something. Getting to that first $10,000 is going to suck. It's going to be slow and boring and hard. You're not going to get celebrated for it. Your friends won't understand why you're being so weird about money. There's no viral moment. No one's making Instagram posts about their $10,000 emergency fund. But here's what this actually does. It breaks the cycle. It gets you to the point where money starts working for you instead of you just working for money. And once you're there, once you're past that first $10,000, the second $10,000 is faster. The third is faster still. By the time you're going from $90,000 to $100,000, you're barely even trying. It just happens. Same discipline that felt impossible at the beginning, but the math is on your side now. So here's the thing about that first $10,000. It's not actually about the money. It's about proving to yourself that you can do hard things, that you can delay gratification, that you can build something even when it feels pointless. Most people quit right before it gets easier. They spend 3 years grinding toward $10,000, they get to $7,000, something comes up, they drain it, and they give up. They decide it's not worth it. The system is rigged. Saving is impossible. But the people who make it to $10,000 and then $50,000 and then $100,000, they're not special. They're not smarter. They didn't have advantages. They just didn't quit during the hard part. They kept going when it felt stupid, when it felt impossible, when everyone around them was living normal lives and they were being weird about money. And then one day they wake up and they're on the other side. And the math that was working against them is now working for them. And money is making money. And breathing is easier. The first $10,000 is harder than the first $100,000 because you're building it with pure effort and sacrifice. But every dollar after that has help. has momentum, has compound growth working in your favor. You can quit now. Most people do. Or you can be the weirdo who keeps going, who saves money when it feels pointless, who says no when everyone else says yes, who builds that first $10,000 brick by brick, even though it takes years and feels impossible. The people with money, they're just the ones who didn't quit during the impossible part. Thanks for watching.